All right, guys, I just went live on my personal account here because I want to introduce you to somebody, Danielle Grant. Danielle, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So let me give you a little bit of context. So Danielle and I met online about a year ago, maybe not quite, like 6 months ago.
No, I think it's been a year ago. Yeah.
It was maybe a year ago, yeah, and I can't even remember exactly how we got connected.
I took your LinkedIn Leads webinar.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So Danielle was like a prospect in my lead list at one point.
Yeah, it was.
And we got connected. So I was noticing that she was, doing a lot of things around mindset, which a year ago for me, a lot of you know, I've done a lot of personal work in the last year. And it was really out of a necessity of life experiences that were going on. Because, of course, Shar, my wife, and I had our son, Bodhi, who was 16 weeks early last March. He's over a year old now, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And I had these people come into my world. Of course, Nima, who may be watching here at some points or might watch this on a replay, who really helped Shar and I through a lot of different things. And it just opened my mind to thinking in a different way and like starting to realize that I had to take responsibility for my own actions and how I see the incidents that were going on in my world, because it's so easy to just get caught up in this idea that like, poor me, and why does this keep happening to me? And I wrote an article for Entrepreneur about this last year, and I actually have a new feature one coming out in Entrepreneur in a few weeks. But anyways, enough about me. So how I came across Danielle, and I started seeing what she was doing, and we were just talking about this. You branded yourself as the mindset mentor, and it took a little while for you to kind of come into your own confidence to do that as well. But you want to explain to everybody what it is you actually do? And just so you know, everybody that's watching here, you don't have to be in business to really benefit from what Danielle is on this earth to do. And I'm just really impressed by it. So I wanted to introduce you to all of you guys.
Thanks, Trevor. That was a great introduction.
Right. Just
Hello,
totally
everybody.
impromptu.
So I'm a mindset mentor. I'm your mindset mentor.
Yes.
And the work that I do is I help you understand the thought patterns and feedback loops that you've created in your life and in your mindsets that were projected onto you by your childhood or outside influences, and really showing you where your perspectives are distorted or where your beliefs are not actually in alignment with you, or what you're believing to be true is what you actually believe to be true with yourself. And a lot of it is done through journaling and inner work, as well as I really help people transform the thoughts that they're thinking and the words that they're using every day that are actually creating negative or positive experiences in their life. And really everything in life is a mindset. Your mindset is the driver of your life, and that is why I love helping people, because when you can get into your mindset, like Trevor said, and do the inner work, you can really start to transmute and transform your life to the direction you want to go.
And this kind of work never ends.
No.
Does it?
No, never.
And a lot of times that's, I think, what freaks people out about really diving deep and starting to go and explore why they are the way that they are, or why they're telling themselves the way that they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like I see a few names on here, people that are watching, and I won't call you out just for the sake of privacy and all that. If you want to say hi to me. But there's a couple of people in particular that are new entrepreneurs that have left jobs recently. And trust me, I know what that's like. And Danielle, maybe you want to tell a little bit about your background too. And, my particular story on this was like leaving the corporate world and just realizing that I never wanted to work for somebody again. Mm-hmm. And man, has it been a roller coaster.
Yeah, it is a roller. It's a lot of waves. So I worked in the corporate world for 10 years, mainly in sales, and I was just tired of my employers not appreciating me and valuing me for my hard work. And so I was actually let go from my last corporate job, and I remember leaving that day not knowing about this business or wanting to really do anything online, but knowing that I wanted to become an entrepreneur to work for myself, because I wanted to be the one in control, and I wanted to be the one that was putting in the work and seeing the results and getting the monetary value from it. And so I decided to become an online entrepreneur and start Your Mindset Mentor. And I was met with a lot of doubt, disbelief.
We talked about this.
Yeah, we did talk
week.
about this.
Yeah.
You talked about this.
No, we talked about it.
Yes.
Us being able to relate to it, of like people just not understanding, like, why are you doing this? Why don't you just go get a job? It'd be so much easier,
Yeah, no, they won't understand you. They
No.
won't. And so if you're someone who is like this and you're transitioning from the corporate world to the entrepreneur world, the biggest thing that I can say to you is that you have to start networking and creating a support system that is people in this world, because they are going to know the wave that you're riding and the low of the low. But if you don't do that, you're constantly going to think you're not good enough, or that you don't have what it takes to become the entrepreneur that you so desire to be.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that desire isn't in you by accident. That desire is in you because you are meant to become an entrepreneur and impact people through your message and the product that you're offering.
There's an image that always comes to mind when I think about this and people that end up quitting too soon. And there's a lot of people that I can speak directly to on this as well, like, certain family members and people that I'm just associated with, old friends. You've seen that graphic before where the person's like digging through the ground and they stop right before they get to the diamonds. It's so true,
Yes,
like usually when you hit that resistance, I find, of like feeling like you should quit, you literally have two choices, like quit and quit confidently, or like push through that pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is one of the areas why I wanted to introduce you guys to Danielle too, because she's creating a lot of content around this. I'm like, okay, how do you do that, right? When you hit that moment where you can barely pay the bills, your wife or your husband is like, what are you doing? You don't even know what you're doing. You haven't made any money doing what you're doing. And you're starting to feel like you need to quit. You need to surround yourself with people that can help hold you high and also make you feel that it's normal to go through what you're going through, because it is, right?
Totally, it is normal.
Yeah.
And every one of us experiences this. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey, but it is so important that you do surround yourself with people, or you do check in with your mindset and see, because to Trevor's point, right when everything's about to be successful for you, everything is going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Like literally. So if everything is falling apart in your life or in your journey, know that your breakthrough is right on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And to actually celebrate that place, because so many people don't actually get to that point of feeling like their whole life is out of control and then getting the success on the other side. So instead of being in that place and wanting to give up, celebrate it and be like, I made it, I'm here, and everything I desire is on the other side for me.
Yeah, and I said the other day I can't remember where I said this, we do a lot of content now, but just the idea around your mess is your message. I got to give credit to Nima for that one, to introduce me to that in my world. But, previously to meeting Nima, I for the longest time, I felt sometimes embarrassed even by my journey. Because I felt like, I was just such a black sheep in my family, amongst my friends, all these different things. And internally I felt like, you haven't really made it yet, And it's just, that has become my strength now, my sharing the messy journey that I've been on and being able to be grateful for every aspect of it, from, really traumatic life experiences of losing 2 kids preterm, and I've told you about all this stuff, and
Yes.
And even going through some of the like major lows of financial challenges, and then also major highs too. Like, I've had some crazy years working with some amazing partners, but as Danielle said, usually right before I'm about to have a really massive breakthrough and an experience where you're like, whew, that was what I was working for, there's always a massive breakdown right before it. Usually
Totally.
Self-induced and created too.
Absolutely. But it's part of the process. It's part of the journey. And talking about the messy journey, or the messy, your thing is messy. The only reason why we think it's perfect is because society and social media has made us out to believe it's a perfect journey. When
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Like, it's supposed to be messy. If it is perfect, you're not doing it right.
You're not trying hard enough. You gotta fail more.
You totally do.
Right?
Totally. Failing just means you're going the right direction. It's actually a sign of the fact that you took action, you became courageous, and it didn't work out. But where did you learn the lesson? How can you improve, and how can you now move forward from that lesson or that block to become better in whatever you're doing?
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to just introduce everybody that I'm connected to here now and on the replay to Danielle, because sometimes when we're in this space, especially if you're looking to become an entrepreneur, or this is obviously what I talk about a lot, so we're going to focus on that a little bit here, but you don't know where to turn to actually get support. You just go, I just know that where I am right now is not where I want to be. Maybe you're working a corporate job and you're just like, I can't do this for another 20 years or even one more year or one more day. But where do you go, right? And with the access to so much information, like 15 years ago when I started in this, there was like a handful of gurus that you could follow that everybody did.
Sure.
And then it created a whole bunch of little clones that were all the same. We've all been trying to like differentiate ourselves ever since. But Nowadays, you just got to Google mindset, personal developments. You know, we all know Tony Robbins and Oprah and all these things. There's so many places to turn. But what I really like about what Danielle's doing is that she's sharing her own journey. She is being consistent. That was one of the major things I told you when we first connected, because Danielle is contributing to my training program now too, where we support solopreneurs who are working from home, one man, one woman shows, because I realized that they're just running into this resistance constantly of the mindset getting in the way. And I knew that I needed somebody really actively involved in our program that was going to be accountable herself, but also hold other people up.
Yeah,
So,
you need it.
yeah, right. And so where can people find out more about what you got going on? Because I want them to get you into their news feed as well. Just like Danielle's all over my news feed.
I am all over. But
Podcasts,
hey,
videos.
I'm everywhere and changing people's lives. So
Yes.
you can find me on my website, yourmindsetmentor.com, which will also take you to my podcast, which is the Mind Vibe Podcast. It's on all the major platforms, as well on Facebook, Danielle Grant at I am Danielle Grant 1, and on Instagram and on YouTube you can find me as well, and Twitter. I'm literally everywhere, but I am posting content every day, and it's always value, and it's always teaching you what I've learned, or teaching you the missing gap that all the books and the gurus are not teaching you in terms of mindset.
Absolutely. So I'm going to sign off here, but really quickly, we're in Kelowna, of course. Another reason why I connected with Danielle and we've really started to work closely together on the work side of things is that we're both in the same place here now.
We are.
And just the ironies of all of it, you know, like how we've connected and all these things. And then you ended up meeting Shar,
I did.
my wife, of course. Most of you would know that. But she just like walked into a yoga studio and you were in there volunteering. Like,
Yeah, I do camera work at a yoga studio, and there was Shar standing up front, and I was like, "Are you Shar?"
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. So there's a reason for everything, obviously, and this is going to be one of those moments, hopefully, for somebody watching this where there was a reason why Danielle came into your life too. So I just want you guys to connect with her. It's linked up. Her profile on Facebook is linked up on this video as well. So
Come say hi. I'd love to have you join the tribe.
absolutely. And come out to Kelowna. It's finally nice again. Look at this. It's
God's
kinda
country.
A little overcast, but families are having fun back there. So hope everybody has a great rest of the day and a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Trevor.